Don't need that. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Josephine, if you don't already know. So before we start today's video, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you because I have officially hit my first 100 subscribers. And as the saying goes, there's only up to go from here. Or you can only go up from here. Yeah, I'm not very good with sayings, but that's besides the point. So if you haven't guessed it, you see the microphone, you see the setup. However, it is a different setup, and I must say thank you to Benny's Take because I was blessed to use her setup for my first segment of TeakTalks with Joe, and today I have my very own. So go grab yourself. What is this, a dust bunny? Anyway, go grab yourself a cup of tea, cup of coffee, a drinky drink, whatever you want that makes your heart happy, and let's start. So before we get into today's topic, I first want to go over my beautiful little setup I have. So I want to say thank you to my parents. They have gifted me with some orange blossom wildflower desert dark honey, some red raspberry loose leaves, and this very cute cup from Arizona with its own little personal stirring spoon. Get into it, ASMR. So it wouldn't be right for me to start the segment without starting it with my new goodies. Also, my tea is cold today because it is hot as butt outside. It is very humid and my hair is very frizzy because of it. Alright, so today's topic is going to be on finding yourself and why it is such a difficult process, because it quite honestly is. So to start, finding yourself is more than just knowing what your name is, where you were born, where you live, and who your friends are, and what your likes or interests are, or dislikes. Granted, it plays a part in it, but when someone asks you, well, who are you? You can't just say, oh, I'm Josephine, or I'm this, or I'm this, because that's not really who you are. That was the name that you were given upon arriving here. So a matter of figuring out who you are is more of a spiritual sense. So if you guys know me, I'm very big into philosophical thinking and talking spiritually and all the other kind of stuff. So if that is something that you are finding that you are needing help with, this is the video for you, and I hope it helps. So something that I've been doing to help me find who I am is I'm being very patient with myself. I have to understand that it's not going to happen tomorrow. And if it does, wonderful. And if it doesn't, then I have my entire life to figure that out. And that's another thing. You have your entire life. Doesn't matter what your age is currently right now, you still have your entire life to figure it out. And it'll happen. It's just a matter of patience. And it's a matter of being patient with yourself to watch yourself flourish. Can you rush a flower to bloom? No. Can you rush a tree's leaves to unfurl? No, you can't. So why would you rush yourself to bloom? Why would you rush yourself to find out who you are? That's not very fair. So the biggest thing I can say is definitely be patient with yourself and quite literally take it day by day. It may sound so cliche, but taking the steps of finding yourself day by day instead of looking at, okay, well, I have this deadline, I have to figure it out next year, you're gonna end up stressing yourself out. Ooh, my light turned off. 1 second. Tea break. As I was saying, be patient with yourself. Give yourself time and understand that it will not happen tomorrow. So allow yourself the time to trust that it will happen. So another thing to do to help find out who you are is make a list of the things that you like, the things that you disliked, the things that bring you joy, and the things that aggravate you, or whatever it is. Just every single time you find something that brings you bliss, or that, like, I actually don't like this, write it down. And then on top of that, figure out the reason as to why you like it and or dislike it. It'll help you give an understanding to almost like the meanings as to where these ideas and these opinions come from in your mind. Is that the ice cream truck coming up my street? Of course it is. Great timing, dude. So make a list of things. If you are able to list 5 things really genuinely actually like doing and 5 things that you really don't like doing, that's one step closer to getting to know who you truly are. And let me just specify, I know I was mentioning it earlier, when talking about getting to know who you are, again, I'm not getting to know who Josephine is. I'm getting to know the soul that inhabits, that lives in quite literally this meat sack. So it's getting to know what your energy and what your level of vibration is at. So it's also a matter of, you have to take time alone. God, you need to take time alone. That was something that I have been learning like crazy this year. And I've also just recently learned that my life path number is number 7. And number 7 life paths tend to also, their purpose in life is to learn how to be alone, and not just like lonely, but learning how to be with yourself. And that is quite literally so crucial for you to learn about yourself. How can you learn about yourself if you don't spend time with yourself? It's no different than if you're going on a date with somebody. You're going on a date to get to know them. You're asking them questions. You're figuring out what they dislike and what they like, what their favorite music is. How can you expect yourself to get to know yourself if you're not doing the same exact thing with yourself? Spend time alone with yourself. Meditate. Go out on dates. Go to picnics. Go outside. Take trips by yourself. I've taken countless trips by myself, and there were so many times when I have done that I have learned something new about myself. I'll use this one as an example. So last year, when I went to LA for the very first time, I wouldn't say that I was in my deepest rut, but I was definitely in a rut, and I definitely was not happy, and it was something that I was struggling with. And I thought, if I were to take a trip somewhere beautiful, somewhere that I wanted to be, that maybe I could find happiness, and maybe I can find whatever it was I was looking for in that moment in LA and in places I was traveling to. And I got to LA, and I was so overwhelmed with the feeling of nothing has changed. I'm still unhappy, and I was by myself. And granted, I still had a very wonderful trip, don't get me wrong, but being by myself on that trip in a different location showed me that I was not happy, and it did not matter if I was chasing different locations and chasing different places. I was not going to find happiness in that place, but it was necessary for me to learn that from being by myself, because otherwise I wouldn't have realized that in order to find happiness, you have to be comfortable with where you're at. You have to be happy with where you're at in the highest of highs and in the lowest of lows. If you're able to be with yourself, alone with yourself, not that you have to exclude yourself from everybody, you have to be a complete hermit and a shut-in, but if you're able to accept life and accept yourself for the lowest parts of your life and even the highest parts of your life, you can go even higher and soar through the sky, essentially, if you want to call it that. Sounds a little cliche, sounds a little corny, but that's okay. Then you know that you could literally go anywhere and be happy there, because you're happy in the place where you almost were originally from, like that original state you were in. So giving yourself time to be alone with yourself, and it doesn't happen again overnight. It has taken me, say, maybe 2 years to get to a point where I'm actually starting to really enjoy my alone time. Like, look at me, I'm talking to a freaking phone, I'm talking to a camera, I'm talking into a microphone by myself. That's a different level of alone. Oh, this tea is so refreshing. So in order to find yourself, you have to listen to yourself. You can't listen to what anybody else tells you. You can't be like, okay, well, Susie told me that I'm this, Joey said that I was this, or Billy said I was that. Okay, they don't know you. You're the only person who's going to know you for as long as you do and as deeply as you do, so you might as well make the best of it. And that's probably the hardest part of life, is getting to a point where you can accept that, because we are our own worst critics. We are our hardest judges. So it is going to be a very difficult thing to learn how to accept yourself as you are, because you're the only person who will know absolutely everything about you. So you can't listen all the time. Of course, you take everything with a grain of salt, and if the people that are in your life are telling you things to help better yourself, because people are in your lives for a reason, of course, listen to those people, but you have to listen with discretion. Not everybody's words are meant for you to take to heart. So learn and know what to filter in and out, and most of all, give yourself the grace to listen to yourself, because when you have honed in on your intuition and listening to your gut, life tends to get a little bit easier, because our bodies quite literally know when things are wrong for us and when things are really good for us. It's just a matter of, again, filtering and knowing how to understand those feelings. Another really good way to help yourself listen to yourself is through meditation. Meditation is really good. Meditation can help, calm your mind, but it can also help you sort through your thoughts. So you have a thought, and then you can really sit with that thought and then try to figure out where does the thought originate, what is the root of the thought, and then you could really kind of break it all down. So not just through meditation can help you calm your mind so you can better understand your thoughts. When you are alone with yourself and you are finding yourself, you'd be surprised how your thoughts up here can give you a lot of answers that you didn't know that you knew. So what I mean by that is, and now we're going to get a little bit philosophical and spiritual. I believe, and this isn't up to you to believe this is what I believe. We are balls of energy, and I believe it was Isaac Newton. He said energy is neither created nor destroyed. The point I'm leading into is we are energy, and I personally believe, we came from something. We didn't just poof out of nowhere. So we are energy created from the one source, the one main energy. So if we are just that energy in different forms, aka humans, souls, and meat sacks, as I mentioned earlier, then we already have all the knowledge available to us. It's just knowing how to access that. And that is one of the biggest and best ways to find out who you are, is to tap into that information that we already have programmed in ourselves that most of us don't know that we have. And to piggyback off of that point, in order to access that information, it's kind of corny and cliche to say, but you have to be spiritually awakened. You have to be self-aware. You have to be self-conscious of your mind and the way life works. And I can do a video about how to go through a spiritual awakening, because those are very, very, very important. And again, not everybody is meant to have that, and that's not for me to push onto you and say, oh, you have to have a spiritual awakening in order to learn about yourself. No, there are levels to it. So if you want to have one, I would absolutely love to give a video about, at least for me, what my spiritual awakening journey has been looking like, because I'm still going through it to this day. But if that's not something you wish to do, because it is a lot of work, it's a lot of unpacking trauma, it's unpacking bad habits, toxic habits, it's a really great way to learn about yourself and to find out who you are, because you have to quite literally get down to the very root, bottom, foundational layer of yourself, and then learn about all of the spaces in between those. But if that's not something that you are ready to do, or just doesn't pique your interest, that is a-okay. Do as you wish. And if not, then the other steps I mentioned, where you're being patient with yourself, you are making a list of things that you like and dislike, things that make you happy, things that make you sad and angry, and then listing the reasons as to why each of those do. You are taking alone time to yourself, spending time by yourself, taking yourself out places, meditating. Another really good thing to do is also keep a journal. A journal will help you see your life through the different stages of your life. Like for me, I started journaling officially about 1.5 years ago. I have yet to go back and read them. I already know, based on how much my mindset and the way I've been thinking the past 6 months has been, I can only imagine what it's going to be like looking back at it when I go and read my first passages in my journal. But that's why they're so good, is because you get to see how you were thinking, and you get to understand, okay, well, why was I thinking this? And again, it helps you find yourself and understand who you are, because you're looking at your thought processes, you're looking at how you react to situations, how you went about your day, who you were at that point. And it's almost like you're watching yourself evolve through the words on paper. And it is a very amazing experience, because you get to learn how resilient you are, how strong you are, how funny you are, how emotional you can be. And it's a very beautiful thing to read your life in the passages and in the pages that you're writing on. I hope I hit all the key points that I had. I had no paper to go off of. I told myself when I would do these podcasts, I would quite literally write everything down, because I have a scatterbrain. So I hope I hit all the points just from off the top of my noggin. So I believe that is the end of today's video. Take a last sip for prosperity. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I put out new videos every Wednesday. I put out new videos every Sundays. Thank you again for the 100 subscribers. There are more to come, and there is better and bigger things to come from all of this. Have a great rest of your day. Mwah.